stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And interjection is the last one. Interjection is like a kind of expression. It expresses something like wow or no or something like that.
Yes. Okay, so it expresses your emotions. Perfect.
Yes.
So you have explained all the 8 parts of speech. Now, today we are going to cover the topic the plural and the possessive nouns. Okay, because that is the last topic that we are left with, and then we will finish the entire syllabus for the reading and the writing section under SAT. Okay, so I'll share my presentation. Can you see the screen?
Yeah.
Okay, so the plural and possessive nouns. First, as I told you, plural. When we listen to the word plural, we know that we are talking about something that is more in number, more than one. Okay. And if we talk about plural nouns are something, a noun that is more than one. What is the opposite of plural?
Singular.
Singular. Perfect. Okay. Just a second. Um, can you see the other screen that I have opened, or can you just see the presentation?
Just the presentation.
Just the presentation? Okay, fine. So, the plural nouns. So, as I was talking about it, the opposite of plural is singular. Now, whenever we have to change any noun from singular to plural, there are many ways to change it from singular to plural. Okay, so we could add a letter S, or we could add ES, or in some cases we add removing FE, we add VES, right? There are many such examples. So I would just exit the screen. I will share some other screen, and then let us discuss some words. Okay, can you see the other screen?
Yeah.
Now let us make a list of some plural nouns. Okay, so now first we will follow this. Add S. Give me 3 nouns that we could actually, add S and make it plural.
Dog.
Dog, okay. So we have dog, dogs. What else? This is the most basic one. So simply by adding S, you can make a noun plural. Okay, so 60% of the words exist under this category. 60% of the nouns. What other words do we have? We can have
Uh,
car, cars, right? Then we can have what else? So many things around you. Pen, pens, right? Now, one thing that you can see a common thing that all these words they end with a consonant, right? And hence we are simply adding s at the end in order to make it plural. Okay, now let us look at some words for which we need to add es at the end. Okay, now remember whenever you have to add es at the end, so what you usually do this, you have to look for letters that are s or x or z or ch. I think, okay, and also sh, yes. So you have to look for these letters at the end. And if you find these letters at the end, then simply you have to add es. Now give me 3 examples. Look around yourself. You might be having so much around you.
Box.
Box. So we have box. And then we can make it plural by adding boxes. What else? We let us now take some examples with ch. So if we have the word peach, we will make it peaches. Okay. Then let us have some example that ends with s. So for example, you have bus. So it will become
Yes.
buses. Okay. So see, this is the rule whenever there is s, x, z, ch or ch. Okay, then you have to look at, like you have to add es to make it a plural noun. Next, we have adding add ves. When do we add ves? When we have the word that ends with fe or f. So think of some words.
Wolf.
Wolf. Okay. So wolves, right? Then we have wife, and it would turn into wives. Now, sorry, this, and it would turn into wives. Now, there are some exceptions too in these cases. Like if the word ends with f, still we just have to add s in order to make it plural. So the exceptions, I'll write it down. If you want, you can note it down. So we have the words such as chief, so it will become chiefs. Or else we have the words such as roofs. It ends with f, but still we are not adding s. Sorry, we es in order to make it plural. Then we have chefs. And we also have the word beliefs. Okay, so now see, whenever you are learning this language, English will always have many exceptions. Okay, believe me, it would have like many exceptions. Like if you are aware about the TCH rule, are you aware about the TCH rule? Can you give me a word that has TCH at the end?
Batch.
Batch. Okay. So it is batch. Now, why is this word batch? Now, at the end, you have the ch sound. Ch sound means like which two letters should come at the end?
CH.
CH. But still, you have T over here. Okay, now why do you have this T over here? Because before the ch sound, you have a vowel. Okay, so this is how we actually teach young children when we deal with phonics with them, because the sound that we have before ch is a vowel sound. Hence, we will have T because they have many doubts. Okay, why do we have a T in the spelling if it is silent? Okay, but then in this case too, while we are teaching them the TCH rule, this has many exceptions. I'll tell you how. If you look at the word rich, okay, if you look at the word much, they don't have T in their spelling, though they have the ch sound at the end, and they also have a vowel before the ch sound, right? So whenever you are learning English, always remember that. See, if you deal with organic chemistry, then you know, right, there are so many exceptions of the compounds that exist, the properties of compounds. Similarly, in grammar also, whenever you are learning the rules of a language, English will have many exceptions. Unlike, a language like Hindi, where you just have to read what is written, English is very different. I'll erase this. Next, we have add IES. Okay, so when do you add IES? When this word it ends with Y. Can you give me some examples?
Fly,
Yes. We add IES when the word ends with Y. Give me some examples.
fly,
Toy, okay. Toy, if you see TOY, toy, so we write it as this, an exception again. Okay, so you know why this happens? Do you know what are syllables? This is not an exception. This is based upon the rule of syllables. Do you know what are syllables? Yes or no?
yeah.
I, what are syllables? Give me an example. How will you explain a syllable?
Syllable is it's the like a type of beat to the word, like
Yes.
syllable is three
So your
syllables.
name is Vinay. So how many syllables does your name have?
Two.
Two. Perfect. Okay, so the number of times you have your chin dropping down, it's Vinay. So you have two syllables in your name. Now, if you see the word toy, it only has one syllable. Hence, it will add S at the end and not IES. But if you look at the word city, it has two syllables. Hence, we will add IES. Okay? Another example. Okay, so as I told you about this, only one syllable word, they would add only S. For ES, we had seen this ES. If the word it ends in O, okay, then too you can add ES. For example, potato, potatoes. Okay. Now, see, there are many words that, if you look at their plural form, they are very different from the noun that actually exists. Okay, so have you noted all this down?
Yeah.
Okay. So now, if you look at the noun man, the plural of man will be
Man.
men. If you look at the word child, what would be the plural?
Children.
Children. If you look at the word foot, what will be the plural?
Feet.
Feet. Okay, so now in such cases, the singular and plural is different. Okay, and here we actually cannot arrive on a conclusion whether we have to add S, E, S, I, V, S, sorry, I, E, S, V, E, S, whatever, because here the entire word changes when we are trying to make it from singular to plural. So in this cases, the confusion is the most. Okay, so remember such words. Okay, whenever you are dealing with this topic, you have to be very careful with what is singular and what is plural. And if you are dealing with plural words, plural nouns, then you have to be extra careful with these words, where you don't have to add es, s, vs, or ies, but you actually change the word while you have to make it a plural one. Okay, now I'll go back to my presentation. Okay. Okay. So the objectives, can you read the slide?
Understand the difference between plural and possessive nouns. Recognize common SAT error related to nouns. Learn strategies to identify and correct errors.
Perfect. What are plural nouns? As I already have told you, plural nouns is something that indicates more than one person, place, or thing, or an idea. And here they have given only two examples, adding S or ES, but there are many more things that you can add, and in some cases, the word becomes completely different. Okay. Now, what are possessive nouns? While we have to change a noun into a possessive noun, what do? We add an apostrophe S. Okay, possessive nouns, they actually show us ownership or relationship. So, for example, give me some example of showing ownership using a possessive
Uh,
noun.
the the man's house.
This is the man's house. Okay, and relationship.
Apostrophe S.
Sorry,
Uh, it's the man.
it's the man. The relationship could be this pen is mine. This is again ownership. Okay, this is my mom. Okay, this is a relationship. So I have used the possessive noun my. Okay, but this is actually a possessive noun that is actually a possessive noun. But when we have to change a noun from a possessive noun to a possessive noun, then what do? We would add a apostrophe s simply to the noun. Now, this is also different. The position of apostrophe s is very important. The position of apostrophe. If the noun is in singular, you will add the apostrophe where before the s. And if the noun is plural, you'll add the apostrophe after s. Okay? So, see,
Yeah.
you can see the example singular, the dog's bone, plural, the dog's bone, the dog's bones. Okay? Now, what are the key differences between the plural noun and the possessive noun? Now, I am giving you a set of four words. You have to tell me the difference between those four words. Okay?
Yeah.
So can you read these four words and one by one explain me what does these word mean? Like with regards to the singular or plural or kind of possessive noun. What do they mean? Tell me.
Uh, the first word boss is a noun. It's just a
Yes.
regular noun. Boss says the second one is a possessive noun
Hmm.
for one thing, like this person has one object, one thing. So that's what the apostrophe after for the S. Then bosses is plural, as in more than one boss.
Hmm.
And then bosses, the last one is an object claimed by more than claimed by those more than one bosses. So
Perfect. Okay. So now if you see the second one, third one, and fourth one, the pronunciation for all the three is the same. Bosses, bosses, and bosses. Okay, so while you actually see, this is the challenge for you. While you read the sentences for your SAT exam, you have to figure out which would be. See, this is actually a kind of a question itself. You might be given any such question where you have to fill in the blank with the right option. And in the option, you would be having these four words. Now you have to look at the context around the blank and you have to think which word would fit over there. Though these second, third, and fourth word, what are they? They are homophones. You remember homophones? Last time I was talking
yeah,
about homophones. Homo means same, and phones means sound. So these words, though they have different spellings, they sound the same. Okay? So these are homophones. So you have to be very careful. You can't just, pick up one option and try to fit it over there and, just check the sound of it because they are homophones. You have to check the position of the apostrophe and also whether they are whether the word needed over there is plural or singular. Then only you'll be able to choose the right answer. Now, if you look at the purpose, the plural nouns, it indicates quantity, and the possessive nouns, they indicate ownership. Okay, example. So you have apples, more than one, and apples color. See, apples and apples, again, both of them sound the same. What do we have? Extra is just the apostrophe that changes the meaning completely. Okay, then we can have, we to make it plural, we can add ses over this plural nouns, and if we have to make it a possessive noun, we can add apostrophe s. Fine. Common errors. Can you read this slide?
misplacing apostrophe is incorrect. The cat's tail is fluffy. Correct. The cat's tail is fluffy. Confusing plurals and possessives incorrect. The children's toys were scattered. Correct. The children's toys were scattered. It's versus it's confusion. It's incorrect. It's a sunny day. Correct. It's a sunny day.
Okay, so what is if you see the last example, in the last class we had done the difference between its and its. What is the difference between the two its?
The first one, the one without the apostrophe, it uh for it's used for it's like it's
Now here,
like
mhm, here there is a plot twist. Okay, now remember this. Whenever you have it apostrophe s, so it is not a possessive noun. What will it become? The abbreviation of it is. And if you have its without an apostrophe, then it is a possessive noun. Okay? Here it goes the other way, just for this word. If you see in the second example, children's, there is no word that exists that is children's. It is children's with an apostrophe, or children's, it doesn't exist because children is already a plural noun. So we can't make it more plural by adding S. Okay. Now these challenges, read the slide.
Apostrophe placement, knowing when to use S or versus S apostrophe versus apostrophe. Irregular forms identifying plurals like children or men as already plural. Context-dependent meaning, differentiating between possession and plural usage in complex sentences. Similar sound confusion, words like it's versus its can be tricky.
Yes, as I have mentioned before, it's an it's. You have to remember that it is a bit tricky. Okay, and the questions would be asked in the same way. So one possibility could be that there could be, some kind of an error with regards to the plurality or the possessiveness of the noun. So you have to figure out the error and then you have to choose the correct one from the options. This is the first type of question that could be possible. The second type of question that could be possible is you might be given a blank and then you have to fill in the blank from the options that are given below. Just be very careful with the position of the apostrophe because that is where students make mistake because they feel that this is an easy topic and they just become overconfident about this. So you have to, be very careful with the position of apostrophe. You have to look at the context and then choose your answer. Now, we have a mention of complex sentences. So, as you remember in the last class, we have studied about complex sentences. Can you give me an explanation of complex sentences if you can recollect?
Um, since I came home at late last night, I slept without having my meal.
Can you say that again? I think I missed it. What did you say?
Since I came home late last night, I slept without having my meal.
Yes, so you gave me an example of complex sentence, but what are complex sentences?
It's a sentence that has a dependent and an independent clause.
Perfect. That has a dependent and an independent clause. So complex sentences, it will always have more than one subject, more than one verb, and might be more than one object too. Okay, so in this sentence, in a complex sentence, it is sometimes difficult to figure out as there are, two nouns. So where do you have to give the possessiveness and the plurality of the noun, it becomes a bit difficult to identify. So you have to be very careful with that, especially the complex sentences. The simple sentences and the compound sentences, there is no problem with that because they have the simple sentences, they follow the pattern of SVO, that is subject, verb, object. So there is no issue with that. And the compound sentences too, they are, two independent clauses joined with a conjunction. So again, there is nothing. But whenever you have a subordinate clause that is inside the main clause, then it becomes a bit, challenging to identify the plural and possessive nouns. Okay. Strategies. Now, the first one is understand the context. Ask if the noun shows ownership or simply plurality. This is very important because how will you come to know whether the noun shows ownership or simply plurality? By looking at the position of apostrophe. Okay. Or if there is no apostrophe, then there is no question of ownership. If you don't see apostrophe, if you only, see the plural forms of words, then you should understand that. Then, you will get an idea about the context. And then it will be easier for you to pick up because picking up a plural, the right plural word from the options is very easy. But when the options have apostrophe in them, then definitely it has some context of ownership, and then you have to be very careful with the apostrophe sign. Memorize irregular forms. Yes. So, children, geese. Okay, so there are many more irregular forms that you need to memorize. Okay, because this can, sometimes if you have a word in the examination that you are not aware of, then you'll simply lose your marks. So for this, you can just check out some websites. You can, just say singular and plural nouns, and you'll get a long list of words. You can just go through it once. Because, see, usually the words are similar, as we talked about it, men, man and men, child and children, goose, geese, woman, women. Okay, so they are similar, but sometimes they are very tricky and different. And you might have not even heard about it earlier. So it's better to have a preparation for it. I don't expect you to memorize all the words, but even if you just try to read those words once or twice, the list, it would be very helpful for you. Okay? Maybe if we get time at the end of the session, let us check upon a few lists of irregular and plural, the irregular forms of plural nouns. It would help us. The third one is check apostrophe usage, ensure apostrophes are placed correctly. Yes, this is also a very important aspect where you have to check upon the apostrophe. I've been stressing on this from the beginning. Eliminate confusion for its versus its, replace with is it is to check correctness. Yes, this is the best way because as I told you, it is the abbreviation of it is it's. So you have to look at the context, whether it, see, if it is a sunny day, right? This is right in the context. It is a sunny day. I won't say it's a sunny day. If I say it's a sunny day, then the it's will have an apostrophe. I would say that this is, no, I would say it's my pen. Then I am showing a, you know, possession in this sentence. It's tricky, but then when you actually try to read the sentences, you will be just, try to make that it is just try to use it is in place of it's wherever you see, and then you'll try to, you'll get the context properly. Don't worry. Conclusion. Plural nouns indicate quantity, possessive nouns indicate ownership. Common mistakes include apostrophe misuse in irregular plurals. Use strategies like identifying context, memorizing rules, and practicing SATs style questions. So I think in most of the topics that we have covered under the SAT writing section, we had a lot of rules in them, isn't it? But here in this topic, I think this was, as I told you, students find this topic to be quite easier. But again, with this topic, they become very overconfident. Hence, they don't have to become overconfident with this topic because this topic does not have any such rule. All the other, if you see the topic that we had done earlier, such like linking clauses. Under linking clauses, I had, talked about the simple sentence, compound sentence, complex sentence, how are they formed, their formation, and, the rules that are supposed to be followed in order to change a sentence from compound to complex and vice versa. But here you don't have anything such like that. So it is quite simple. Yes, and you can, practice. As I always tell you, go beyond the book. Okay, in the book you only have limited questions. Though the book provides you with the questions that are actually, asked in the examination. The questions are like really relevant, but still you have to go beyond the book and you need to research on your own too for the questions. So this is the end of the presentation. Um, Now, okay. So I will share my screen again. Do you have any doubts for this topic?
No.
Okay. So now I will be talking about, see, you know, right, what are plural. See, we had learned about singular and plural, first person, second person, third person nouns. You remember?
Yeah.
Today we will be learning about singular and plural, first person, second person, third person, possessive nouns. Okay? So I'm just making the table and you will be giving me the answers. Okay, so we'll have singular, we'll have plural, first person, second person, third person. Now for singular first person, what can we have?
Um, my,
My, okay. What else? There is one more word.
I, no,
I. No. I is a singular noun, but it is not a singular possessive noun. Okay. So the other word is mine. Okay. What about plural first person? Think about it. Have some brainstorming. What do just think about a situation. Whenever you have to answer such questions, just think about a situation that you are talking about, maybe you and your friend with somebody. Okay. So you are talking about you and your friend. So how will you address you and your friend using a possessive noun? For example, if you say that this is dash house, how will you fill in the blank? If you have a plural first person,
my house,
no. It is a singular first person. What would be the plural?
our,
Our. Very good. So this is our house. Okay. Or it could also be ours. This house is ours. Now, what about singular second person?
your,
Your. Okay. What about plural second person? Think of a situation.
you all,
Yes. So, under the possessive noun, singular and plural for second person remains the same. Now, what about the third person?
his, her, or
Yes.
his and her,
His, her. What about this?
their,
Hers, theirs. Okay. This house is his. This is his house. This house is hers. Or this house is theirs. Okay. So you can note this down in your book. And then we'll move on to the practice questions.
yeah.
Yeah. Now I want you to take your PDF and go to page number um 47.
Yeah.
Okay, so on page number 47, you have some 8 questions. I want you to solve them on your own because they are quite simple, but be careful with the apostrophe. Okay, solve all 8 of them on your own, then we'll discuss it together.
C.
No, don't give me answers one by one. Solve all 8 first, then we'll discuss.
Okay. Yeah, done.
Okay, let us discuss them now. So the first one, you can read the question and then answer.
Slam poet Elizabeth Confido's debut novel, The Poet X, winner of the 2018 National Book Award for Young People's Literature, is composed of main protagonist 15-year-old Xiomara Batista. So the
Yes.
answer is D,
D. Okay. Why do you think it's D?
because because we're talking about the poems put to was it
Yes.
to Tiffany, written by the novel's protagonist. Like the protagonist is part of
Yes.
the novels.
Yes. Perfect. So it's talking about the novel's protagonist. Okay. The second one?
Labor unions are formed in order to protect blame through collective bargaining, which gives employees greater leverage while ensuring they are treated equally by management. Um, A.
Workers' rights. Yes, because workers, it is a plural noun. And how do we come to know it is the right option? Because we have rights. So rights is a plural noun. Okay. So whenever you have, a plural noun with an apostrophe, always look at the word that follows it. So you have if it would have been workers right, then it is apostrophe s and then right. But here we have s apostrophe and rights. Okay, perfect. The third one.
The striated blank walls are the result of erosion and frost weathering, having exposed layers of multicolored sedimentary rock. Um, D.
Okay, patterns of a chaos walls. Yes, perfect. Fourth one.
Uh, Italy's Tower of Pisa has been leading southwards since the initial blank construction over 800 years ago. Indeed, if the tower's construction had not taken 2 centuries to involve significant breaks due to war and civil unrest would allow the ground beneath the tower to settle. The tower would likely have collapsed before it was complete. Uh, the
Yes, stages of its. Now, I hope you don't have any confusion with what is its, right? And remember that there is nothing as its apostrophe. That does not exist. Only the two forms exist. One is its and one is it apostrophe s. That's all. Its apostrophe is nothing that exists. The fifth one.
By virtue of blank medical training, PAs have performed many of the jobs traditionally done by doctors, including treating chronic and acute conditions, performing minor surgeries, and prescribing some medication. C.
Yes, they are. Now again, if you see the word there sounds different. But if you see they are and they apostrophe re, they both are homophones. Okay, the difference is they are, one is the abbreviation of they are, and the other one they are is a possessive noun. Okay, so the
Yeah.
right option is option C. Perfect. Next.
More transformations would take place in the medium as the Silver Age gave way to the Bronze and modern and possibly postmodern ages, such efforts have yielded diminishing returns, as even the complete relaunch of DC Blank line in 2011 has failed to arrest the steep two-decade decline of comic book sales. Answer is D.
D. Perfect. Comics superhero. Yes, the thing is that all the three options above, they have apostrophe, like in the word superhero, they have an apostrophe S. That makes it wrong. If this option would have been comics, that is comic apostrophe S and superhero, then too it would have been the right option. Okay? But only, one aspect that makes it stand out from all the other options is that the word superhero does not have an apostrophe in the right answer. And there is just one option with that. Okay? The seventh one,
As carbon dioxide level in the Earth's atmosphere rises, the blink absorb more carbon dioxide. Organisms flourishing near the volcano may help biologists to understand how life adjusts to very acidic conditions. C.
yes. World's oceans. Perfect. Eighth one,
To take a wet plate photograph, photographers visually first read or pose blank subjects before mixing conclusions. Mixing collodion, a viscous, light-sensitive chemical solution with bromide, iodide, or chloride, and apply the mixture to a clean polystyrene plate. Dried collodions is unusable, so once the photo is snapped with a massive tripod-mounted interest D.
yes, they are, because here you have the plural noun photographers. Okay, so the right option is option D. You'll have if you have the plural noun, the possessive noun will also be plural. Okay, so now do you have any doubts?
No.
I'll share my screen. Mm, Okay, so here I have some questions, some extra questions for transitions. You remember we had done the topic transitions in the last class?
Yeah.
Okay, so now let us solve these questions together. Read the question.
It has long been thought that human first crossed the land bridge into the Americas approximately 13,000 years ago, playing based on radiocarbon dating of samples uncovered in Mexico. Research recently suggested that humans may have arrived more than 30,000 years ago, much earlier than previous thoughts.
Yes. So you remember transitions, right? You have to look for continuous contradictors. Okay, so what is the context for this? What do you think should be the right answer? First, you have to identify the context. Where is it lying? And then once you have decided the context, you can eliminate the rest of the options. What is the right answer?
See,
However, because this is presenting a contrast. Perfect. Read this one.
A 2017 study of sign language learners tested the role of iconicity,
Mhm.
the similarity of a sign to the thing it represents in language acquisitions. The study found that the greater the
Icons.
iconicity
Yes.
iconicity of a sign, the more likely it was to have been learned. Like the correlations between acquisition and iconicity was lower than that between the acquisitions and another factor studied sign frequency. The greater sign like this bit. Short B.
B. Okay. The thing is that, see, here we can simply eliminate two options, option A and option C. Because here we are, when we say in fact, it means that we are in some way contradicting the idea. So this is not a contradiction. Granted, no, again, that word isn't, suited over here. The right answer would be as a result. Now, if you see the option in other words and as a result, what is the difference between the two? In other words, simply means that you are elaborating on the same. But as a result, it means that you are giving a conclusion. Okay? So here the right option would be as a result. The third one,
Alexander Lawrence Posse, 1873 to 1908, varied his focus and tone depending on the genre in which he was writing. In his poetry, he used heartfelt language to evoke the beauty and peacefulness of his natural surroundings. In his journalism, Blake employed humor and satire to comment on uh, political issues affecting his Muskogee Creek community.
here the idea is contrasting. First, he has used the heartfelt language to evoke the beauty and peacefulness of his natural surroundings. But again, he's using the genre called the satire, where he's commenting upon the political issues affecting his community. So, what would be the answer?
A.
A. Perfect. Are you finding them difficult? I think they are quite simple.
Yeah, they are so.
Yes. So, for as I always tell you, for a question under the writing section for SAT, you should not possibly take more than 30 seconds to answer. Okay? Read the fourth one.
O2 Arena, an award-winning science fiction story by Nigerian author O.
Whatever his name
Donald,
is. Mhm.
takes place in an alternate version of Nigeria where breathable air is a rare commodity that is owned and sold by companies. Black people must purchase it with current currency called O2 credits. C.
Fifth one.
When one looks at the dark, craggy vistas in Hitoshi Fuku's evocative photo series, one's mind might wander off to create cratered surface of faraway planets. Blank gets the series a little frying pan that brings one back to Earth, reminding the viewer that each photo is actually a close-up view of a familiar household object, a frying pan. And D.
Yes. Additionally, it's the series title Flying Pan. Yes. So if you see what is the difference between ultimately and additionally?
Ultimately means it's a conclusion.
Perfect. So the right option is option D. Sixth one.
Before the 1847 introduction of the U.S. postage stamp, the cost of postage was usually paid by the recipients of the letter rather than the sender, and recipients were not always able to or willing to pay promptly. Blank collecting this fee could be slow and arduous. The heaps of unpaid for undelivered mail pile up in post offices. Uh, C.
Perfect. This is the last one for transitions.
The number of dark spots that appear on the sun, known as sunspots, can vary greatly. For example, there are about 180 sunspots in November 2001. Blake, there are only about 2 sunspots in December 2008. Uh, D.
Yes. Now I have some questions for, now this question set that I have with me, it is a mix of everything. Okay, all because this is the last session. Hence, this might be a bit challenging for you, but this is actually the mix of everything, where you have to spot the error in the sentence, be it any kind of error. It could be an error related to punctuation, or it could be an error related to supplements or linking clauses, or anything like that. It is nothing to do with, subject verb agreement. It is just based on the topics that we have learned towards the end. Okay. So just, read them, and you have to just figure out the error, whether there is no change or some kind of an error, and let us solve this together. Read the first one. They are quite easy.
Science Institute was located in picturesque surroundings, but the students were able to relax among the lake and field after classes. B.
Yes. The Science Institute was located in picturesque surrounding, but so it would be so the students were able to relax among their lakes and fields after classes. Perfect. Second one.
Dangerous Dan was a fictional detective and the star of many popular mystery movies. However, the actor that have played Dan are now worth millions of dollars. The actors that have played Dan are now worth millions of dollars.
What do you think is the answer?
Um, C.
Perfect. Third one.
And it Tisam was a 17th century Egyptian farmland that earned the wealthy landowner a great deal of profit. Therefore, he left only pennies to the peasants who actually cultivated the farm. C.
Yes. Contradiction. Perfect. Fourth one.
The Federal Trade Commission was established years ago to protect the American economy because since then it has ended many unfair monopolies.
So the two options are on this page and the rest two are over here. Yes. What could be the answer for this one?
B.
Um, because at that time,
C.
yes, C. That's it then. Perfect. Fifth one.
Ludwig von Beethoven may have been the greatest Viennese composer in history, and he almost missed his destiny when deafness threatened to end his musical career. D.
Yes. Sixth one.
An excellent wrestler, David, that won the Olympic gold medal, although his coach was concerned about the athlete's recently injured knee. Oh. A.
Yes. Seventh one.
You may know this simple device only as a crowbar. Furthermore, in previous ages, it is known as his iron spike. C.
Yes. Eighth one.
Because mountain climbing is an arduous and exhausting activity with serious risk of injury, since many mild-mannered people are unwilling to even attempt it. C.
Perfect. Ninth.
Some motorcycles can appear to be quite intricate in their designs, but they all share the same basic concept of unification between frames, wheels, and engines. A.
Yes.
Charlie Daniels will be remembered as the songwriter of Devil Went Down to Georgia. Therefore, although he wrote many other tunes, none of them have remained popular. C.
Yes. 11th.
Although these people run the risk of landing in unexpected places, aerial thrill seekers such as skydivers and hang glider pilots should carry a GPS locator and two-way radio. B.
Perfect. 12th.
Charlie often enjoyed conversing with Veruca, whose controversial opinions always fascinated him. However, he was sometimes offended when she vehemently disagreed with his own views. A.
Can you explain why?
Because it says that he enjoys conversing with her, but he also gets offended when she disagrees with his own views. So it should be like a however.
Okay, perfect. This is the last one.
Songbirds often have to defend their nest from intruders that might prey on their eggs. So sometimes the bird will share nesting grounds with other woodland creatures such as squirrels or opossums. A.
Perfect. So did you find these questions to be easy?
Yeah.
Okay. I have a list of, irregular plurals for you. Just have a look. You can read them aloud.
Irregular plurals, ellipsis, ellipses, codex, codes, larva, larvae, ox, oxen, oasis, oasis, swine, swine, trout, trout, genus, genera, focus, foci, woman, woman, men, diagnosis, diagnoses, analysis, analysis, man, men, person, people, foot, feet, tooth, teeth, child, children, mouse, mice, sheep, sheep, fish, fish, leaf, leaves, goose, geese, aircraft, aircraft, apex, apices, bison, bison, crisis, crisis, detum, data, focus, focus, serious, series, Veda, vitae, tuna, tuna, quiz, quizzes, index, indices.
Yes. So your there are some words where actually their plural is also the same, but I think for fish it is fishes. It's not fish. So your I doubt why they have written just fish over here, but it is fishes because it ends with sh. So fish and fishes. There are a lot of fishes in the ocean or in the sea. And if so there were many words that I suppose you found out to be new, right? Um, just a second. I think I have one more. This one. So does this have anything new? I'm just checking on that. Don't read it. Wait. I think it has almost the same words. Yeah, so one I found out over there, it's alumina and aluminae. Okay. Rest all are the same. So do you have any doubts with the chapter, like whatever we have done today?
No.
No, right? You are clear with everything.
Yeah.
Okay. So I want you to just go back to your textbook, like you have the PDF, right?
Yeah.
Have we solved all the classroom worksheets? Or are we left with anything?
Yeah, I think we solved all of them.
Okay. Because today is the last session, hence I wanted to have a quick revision with you of all the topics, especially under the writing section, because what I have observed, according to my feedback, you are good at the reading section. You are very quick at giving the answers. You get the context very soon, but under writing section, as there are, many new things. You remember, like during the session once you had told me that in your school, you only have literature and not grammar for English. So grammar is something that I found out it is very new to you. Hence, in today's session, as it is the last session, you would be approaching your exam soon. You would be giving an attempt for SAT. Hence, I want you to be very clear with the grammar section. Okay, so now as we have some time, let us have a quick revision of everything, like from session 1 to session 9. And I'll be asking you some questions too. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. So now the first topic is subject verb agreement. Let us focus on the main points itself. Okay, so as you know that, what is the structure of the sentence?
SVO, subject verb object.
Subject verb object. And under the subject verb agreement questions, what will you have? You will always have like the questions in which you have to see that whether the subject and the verb, they are in line with each other. Okay, so you have to look at these things. Now, how the subject and the verb will be in line with each other. So as you remember, today we had done the table for the possessive pronouns, but earlier we had done the table for the nouns. Okay, so this is based upon two criterias. The first one again is the, the quantity, that is singular and plural. And the other thing is that the the person. So the personal pronouns, they are also very mandatory when you look at the subject verb agreement. The verb, if the verb is, see, this is also a rule that you need to recollect. If the subject is singular, the verb would be in plural, right? And if the subject is plural, the verb would be singular. You remember this?
Yeah.
So I would say that she swims and they swim. Okay, you have to remember this. Are you noting this down as a pointer thing?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not able to see your video. Just, yes, I can see it. Okay. So she swims, they swim. Now, when you have the second topic, that is the pronoun antecedent agreement. Okay, in the second topic, you remember what is, right? What is a pronoun? It is something that is used in the place of a noun. What is an antecedent?
And
What is an antecedent? See, it is simple. The pronoun, see, what I told you, a pronoun is something that is used in place of a noun. So for the noun, for which the pronoun is used, that noun will be known as the antecedent. Okay, simply. So now, in this also, you need to have an agreement. So for this, again, you have to look at the singular and plural. Okay. Because
Yeah.
if you are talking about a girl, you should use she. Boy, then you should use he. If you're talking about, nouns are also, see, whenever you are focusing on pronouns, you should know what are the types of nouns. So if you remember, we had done this as well. So the types of noun, first we have the common noun. What else? If you can
Proper noun.
recollect, yes, proper nouns. Then we have material nouns. What are material nouns? Give me an example. We have collective nouns. What else? Last one is the abstract noun. I want you to give me an example for each right now.
Simple noun is a noun like a common noun is something like regular, like teacher or
Yes.
a man or woman. Proper
Perfectly.
noun is a specific person, so like Mrs. something or Mr. something. That's
Yes.
proper noun.
Mm.
Material noun is like it's
It's a non-living thing. Okay.
it's
A
an
chair.
object. Yeah.
Yes, a chair, a table, a book. All these are material nouns. What is collective noun?
It's it's one word that kind of
A bunch.
holds bunch
Yes.
like a team or
Mm.
like a team.
The team of players, the bunch of keys, the set of books. Okay. Then what are abstract nouns?
Abstract nouns is a is a noun that kind of doesn't have it can't be counted.
No. Okay. In a way, you are right, but abstract noun is basically that you cannot see, but it exists. Okay, you can just feel it. Okay, so you know what is the opposite of abstract? Concrete. Concrete is something that you can touch and feel, abstract is something that you cannot touch and feel. So, abstract nouns are something like happiness, sadness, loneliness, honesty, punctuality. All these are abstract nouns. Right? Now,
Yeah,
another aspect that you have to focus on when you are dealing with pronoun antecedent questions is the gender. Okay, so the gender, we have the male, female, and the neuter gender. Okay, so the neuter
yeah.
gender, what is the neuter gender? Non-living things. Okay, next, let us move on to the third topic. The third topic is verb forms, very interesting. Verbs, whenever we are dealing with verbs, one thing that should pop up in our mind is the tenses. Okay, because tenses are defined by verbs. So tenses as we have past, present, and future, right?
Yeah.
Under these three types, we have four subtypes. Can you tell me what four subtypes do we have under these? Try to recollect. All these
Um,
things are, the basic concepts. So that's the reason I think this revision session was important, because then you will be able to recollect it. In the exam, all this is theory. They won't be asking you all this. But if you are solving the questions, you should be aware of all this in order to avoid mistakes. You cannot randomly choose the right answer. Though you might be, very fluent in the English language, and by looking at the error only, you'll come to know what is the right answer. That is fine. But again, these are the rules. Sometimes the options are so confusing that two or three options altogether sound right under different circumstances. So, how will you land on the right answer if you know the rules? These are some of the conventional rules that English follows. But again, English, I won't say that English is the only language, but it is one of the language that though it is, widely used all over the world, it has many exceptions, like very many exceptions. So there are many words, many sentences that do not follow the pattern, do not follow the prescribed rules, but still they exist and they are in use, very much in use. Okay, so tell me what are the subtypes?
there's a simple tense
Yes. So we
and
have
and
simple.
then and perfect,
Yes. We have perfect, we have continuous, and the last one is
progressive.
progressive, continuous. Progressive and continuous are the same. Okay. The last one is, what do we call it as the Bhelpuri tense? That is perfect continuous. So you're under simple, you'll have, the simple form of tense. Under continuous tense, one thing that you have to, look for is verb, verb plus ing. Under perfect tense, one thing that you have to look for is had, have, or has. Okay. And under perfect continuous, one thing that is very important is the word been. Okay. These are some of the simple clues. If you just note down all this at the last moment of your examination, it would be very helpful. You can just go through this. Okay.
Yeah.
Verb forms again. You just have to focus on tenses. That's all. Under verb forms, there is nothing more. Verb forms is all about tenses. Yeah, one thing that I can see over here is active and passive voice. Okay, so again, the tenses under active and passive voice, they differ, because under active voice, we follow the pattern of SVO, and under passive voice, the pattern changes. So as I have given you this example already, my mother cooks food. My mother is the subject, cooks verb, and food is the object. But if I switch it to a passive voice, then it becomes the food is cooked by my mother. So the food is the object, is cooked becomes the verb itself. The verb remains in the middle. By my mother is the subject. So the structure becomes VOS. Okay.
Yeah.
They are interchanged. The the subject and the objects are interchanged. And if you look at the verb in the active sentence, I'll just write it down. My mom cooks food. ठीक है? And iska,
Yeah.
if we just try to make it a passive voice, it would become the food is cooked by my mom. Now here, if you look at the verb, though it remains in the center itself, but you will be able to see a recognizable change. So what is the change? Cooks. cooks remains in, it is the simple present tense, verb plus s, but it is turned into simple past tense, is cooked. Why? Because this is a passive voice. Okay?
Yeah.
So whenever you have to switch it into a passive voice, remember the tense, the change in the tense. Just be careful with it in your exam. Next topic we have is the modifier placement. So we have modifiers. What kind of modifiers do we have? We have adjective modifiers. Also, we have adverb modifiers. Okay. Now, adjective modifiers is it answers the question what, and adverb modifiers, they answer the question how. Okay. Now, if I have to, no, it just make a correction. Here it would be which. Okay. Adjective modifiers, they answer the question which, and adverb modifiers, they answer the question how. So I have to say that the sentence the dress that I bought yesterday is beautiful. So what is this? This is an adjective modifier. How? So which dress? The dress that I bought yesterday. Okay. Now if you look at the adverb modifiers, the example for adverb modifiers would be um, okay, the runner who ran very fast run the race. Sorry, won the race. Okay. So here we are having the word very, that is an adverb, and fast is the verb. Okay, so now again in the same thing, if you okay, so just look over here. You remember we had done the topic linking clauses.
Yeah.
Whenever you make use of an adjective modifier or an adverb modifier, these will make the sentence into a complex sentence. So what are complex sentences? They will always have a subordinate or the dependent clause within the independent clause. So the independent clause is this: the dress is beautiful, right? And the dependent clause is that I bought yesterday. So which is this clause? This is an adverbial clause. Okay. Sorry, this is an adjective clause that I bought yesterday. Similarly, the runner won the race. Here, this is an independent clause, and the dependent clause is who ran very fast. Okay, so this is an adverbial clause. So both of these sentences are complex sentences. Okay. In under
Yeah.
this topic, we had, also learnt about what are clauses and phrases. So the clauses, it will, it will have a subject and it will make sense. Here, remember that clauses, they can be dependent or independent. Okay? It will make sense. But if you look at phrases will have no subject. And again, they would be meaningless. Okay, so if I have the phrase a blue dress, simply, this is a phrase, a blue dress. Nothing after that, nothing before that. It will not make any sense. It is just a blue dress. But if I say that I bought yesterday, so this is a clause. It is a dependent clause. It needs something in order to complete the sentence. Similarly, you have independent clause where I have the dress is beautiful. This is totally independent. It does not need anything else in order to make it complete. But in order to, we can have a modifier or a clause between it in order to make it a complex sentence. Is it confusing?
No.
No. Okay. I'm glad. Let us move to the next topic. Plural and possessive nouns, we have just completed it today. Then we have linking clauses. Linking clauses too, I have explained it to you. Clauses is basically, see, if we look at the topic linking clauses, one thing that is very important over there is the type of sentences. So you have simple, compound, and complex. Okay. So under simple sentence, you'll have SVO. Compound sentence, you'll have IC, that is independent clause, plus a conjunction, plus an IC again. Okay, that is independent clause. Under complex sentences, what you will have? You will have here again, the conjunction is a coordinating conjunction. Okay. Coordinating conjunctions are similarly, they are simply and, but, so, something like this. Under complex sentences, you will have an independent clause, plus you'll have a dependent clause, and both of them will be joined by a subordinating conjunction. Subordinating conjunction. Okay.
Yeah.
So, yes, so for the subordinating conjunctions, there was this acronym fanboys. Okay. If you remember this, fanboys. We have already written it down. What was the each word standing for? Next we have is supplements. Now under supplements you have three. See, supplements is something that provides us additional information. Right? It is just like a clause, just like a subordinating clause that provides us with additional information. Your supplements, how will you differentiate the supplements? There are three types. To just differentiate the supplement. So before going to this, supplements are of two types. The first one is essential supplement and the other one is non-essential supplements. Okay, essential supplements, you have to keep it within the sentence. You cannot delete it from the sentence. Non-essential supplement, they just provide additional information if you remove it or keep it. If you keep it, they will provide additional information. If you simply remove it, it is not going to make any difference in the sentence. Okay, and how will you differentiate? Like, how will you just, if you have to pick out the conjunction, the non-essential supplement, there are three ways to separate the non-essential supplement. The first one is a comma. The second one is parenthesis. What are parentheses? It is the brackets. And the third one is a dash. You remember all this, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So here, let us go back. See, in these modifiers, if you see the adjective modifiers and the adverb modifiers, just look at them carefully. Both of these, the thing that I have highlighted, the modifier, they both have essential supplements. They are providing additional information that is important. If you remove them, then though the sentence will make sense, but still that information was necessary in order to, make more sense out of the sentence and in order to keep its structure as a complex sentence. But if I add a comma or a parenthesis or a dash, like along the sides of some additional information, then it makes it a non-essential supplement. Fine. Now,
Yeah.
the next topic is punctuations. Punctuations is a simple one, so we are not gonna dwell deep into it. So basically, the types of punctuations, we have a period, that is a full stop, then we have a comma, we have colon, we have apostrophe, then we have semicolon, then we have a dash, we have a question mark, we have an exclamatory mark. So here we can talk about the sentences. Okay. So the first one is the assertive sentence. What is an assertive sentence?
It's a sentence that tells something.
Yes, a simple conversation, assertive sentence. Then we have interrogative sentence. What is an interrogative sentence?
A sentence that
Imperative?
it's a question, imperative question.
No. Interrogative is a question. Okay. Interrogative sentences, they ask a question. Then you have imperative sentence. What is an imperative sentence?
It's an order, like do this.
Perfect. So it is an order, command, or request. Perfect. And the last one is exclamatory. What is an exclamatory sentence?
It expresses emotion.
Perfect. It expresses emotions. The last topic is transitions. Okay, so under transitions again, there are, 4 types of transitions. The first one is addition. It simply means that adding on to the existing information. The second one is the contrasts. Okay, talking against. Third one is the cause and effect, as a result, kind of. And the last one is the sequential order. Okay, so it is basically, it follows a sequence. So firstly, this happened, then secondly, this happened. So they are sequential. So these are the 4 types of transitions. Okay.
Yeah.
So I am done explain, like, just revising all the topics that were under the writing section. Do you have any doubts, or like Did you find any topic to be very much difficult?
No.
Okay, what is your feedback? Did you enjoy the sessions?
Yeah, some of them were informative.
Okay, they were very new for you.
Yeah,
Okay, but like I want you to know, what you should take from this sessions is that you should learn something new. Because whatever you know already. I am here to help you with something you don't know. So, like by the end of these SAT sessions, if you are able to get so much information about something you didn't know before, then that is a gain situation for you where you had the win because this was like new for you. And like for me, I would be satisfied if you use this knowledge, you use this information while you solve the SAT exam and you keep this with you forever, not just till your SAT exams, because this is the basic thing and it would help you. Definitely, grammar is something that is important. It is very much affiliated to the English language, so it would help you throughout your life. Okay,
okay.
so we have completed all the portion. Under the reading section also everything is completed, right?
Yeah,
So just remember for the reading section, don't exceed more than, 1.5 minute. 1 minute should be the time for you. Don't exceed more than 1 minute for solving questions. For the reading section, one thing that is very important is that you have to keep a mind map ready with you. As you will be having a rough paper with you, you can highlight words on screen. Highlight the words on screen while you are reading the passage for the first time. Make a mind map using the paper and the pen. Don't look at the options until you have summarized and comprehended the entire information because looking at the options tend to make you confused. So once you have processed the entire information, then look at the options. Use the method of elimination both in the writing section and the reading section as well because it works. If you try to look for the correct answer, you might, waste your time doing that. So if you know the rules for the writing section and if you know the concept for the reading section, try eliminating. Okay. And for the
okay.
writing section, don't take more than 30 seconds for each question. 30 seconds is the maximum time that you should take before you go for your examination. Just try to revisit all the rules and practice as much as possible. Okay. Practice is very
Yeah,
important. It will help you to increase your speed. And then, because you know, right, the difficulty level, the better you answer, the questions will turn out to be difficult, but you will be able to fetch much more marks than if you have difficult questions. So try to, not make errors or else the scoreboard will come down. Okay. So I hope
yeah.
you enjoyed the sessions. The
Do we
portion
have
is
a class
done.
tomorrow?
No, the portion is done, so I don't think so. We will have a class tomorrow. Everything is
Oh, okay.
done, right?
Yeah,
Okay. Okay, then all the best for your exams. Thank you so
thank
much.
you.